Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Aussie Formula Racing. We're here for Season 8, Round 9 at the Monza circuit. I'm joined tonight by Mr. Psycho. How you doing?
Good evening. I'm not too bad. What about you?
Pretty good, thank you. I'm Gus Rules, of course. And we have some wet qualifying. So we're actually going to see in this Q1 session intermediates used for their purpose in the wet weather. So those of you who may be tuning in for the first time this evening, we see sometimes in Q1, we do full qualifying, by the way, for Tier 1 here at Aussie Formula Racing. We sometimes see them use the intermediate tyre to set a banker lap because you don't get enough slick tyres in the game to do the full qualifying format. But yeah, we've actually got wet conditions, and we've got some drivers coming out onto the track, and in some sketchy conditions. There we go. There's Bait Mate. There need to be the tyres. Phoebe going onto the wets. She actually did last weekend, and that did not work out well for him at all. But yeah, I wonder as well. I noticed that the drivers are taking a little bit of time to get their stuff organised coming out onto the track. I wonder if we might be seeing a bit of a wet race. Are you hearing anything from the pit wall, Psycho?
Yeah, I just jumped down there and I came back from the AFR pit wall, so looks like it's going to be wet for the next half an hour or so. There might be a very slight chance that we could have some dry running at the very end of Q3, so that could get exciting depending how the weather plays out.
Yep.
But the race is going to be dry.
Okay, thanks for that update. So I think this is actually the first time in Tier 1 we've had wet conditions for the full qualifying format, so that's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how this plays out. Now, I noticed that a lot of the drivers who are planning to get through to the later sessions are going on to the full wets. I wonder if that's so they can save some intermediate tyres for those later sessions just in case it doesn't dry up.
It would make sense. I don't think you get a lot of inter tyres, so you definitely don't want to wreck them. And it's hard on the inters because you can't go out, set a lap and go, yep, that's it, because of how much the track ramps up and you just don't know how fast people are. So it's not like in the dry where you know, for example, if you put in like a 19.5, you can just retire straight away because you're safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually see this sometimes in real life as well with the tyre allocations for the wets. They don't get enough. They get a certain amount for the whole weekend, and if they have wet practice sessions, they often don't want to go out because they don't have the tyres to last for the full weekend. I think at Imola in real life they had that problem as well, where they were worried about the number of tyres for the whole weekend. So I would not be surprised if a few of these drivers are just doing bank laps on the wets just to save a set of inters for a bit later on in this qualifying session. But at the moment we've got 15 minutes left in this qualifying 1 session, and we're with Bait Mate at the moment, who's the first car on a flying lap at the moment.
Looking pretty good so far. I was on board with Fever then, and the wets are not the right tyre.
Yeah, probably a bit too dry for the wet tyre. They'll be overheating quite a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely not wet enough for that wet tyre. And even now, just looking at it, the rain seems to be easing.
Yeah, I'm only getting a few drops on Baitmate's camera. There's a lot of standing water off the racing line, but the racing line itself looks pretty good. I'd say it's probably going to be a while before it is slicks conditions, but that's going to be very tricky. It's 1 minute 30.137 for Baitmate. And I expect some of these drivers are going to be running reasonably large fuel loads. Actually, it was like jump up with CJM. It's raining more heavily at the 2 Lesmos. As Captain of Gold is retired. He's crashed at Ascari. And we're just on board with CJM at the moment. We'll see him. There he is. The Aston Martin has binned it. Oh, that's Eckham. Eckham has spun off.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Captain of Gold's actually the first Lesmos where he's crashed. And that was an unrelated incident there for Eckham, who was on his outlap and had a bit of a spin at Ascari there.
Yeah, I'm a bit... it's unfortunate for Captain. I mean, he's binned it now. He's going to spend the next 40 minutes just doing nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunate. It does look a bit weird, the weather. Like, when I was on board with Baitmate, I agreed that Parabolica that was hardly raining, and now we're coming down the end of the straight. It's not very much on the screen for CJM, but definitely in Sector 2, it looks like it's raining a bit more than it is in the rest of the circuit.
The Lesmos and Ascari seem a lot wetter, you're right, than Parabolica and around turn 1 and 2.
Have a look at combined here. He's coming through the first Lesmo. Yeah, you could see it raining quite heavily. The center of the circuit, but
Fiba and Hero are just shredding these wet tyres. I'm watching Fiba just drift around every corner. So, Captain of Gold's out. That means we're technically only going to get one other driver knocked out of the session.
Yeah, it's correct. Currently, our Tannis is down in P16. Irvin Skyther is filling in tonight. Is sitting there, the driver at risk, as Combined and Big Al go up into the top 5. And here's Ekem through a scurry at the moment. Had that really risky moment on his outlap. He had a bit of a spin. But yeah, you can see Trin has set a 1 minute 30.7 on the wet tyres. Only 1.5 seconds off Big Al's time, but Feber and Hero in particular quite a bit off the pace with the full extreme tyres. Ekem has invalidated, just ran a little bit wide at the Parabolica, and I reckon that's going to invalidate his next lap as well, because that will have been out of the final corner. So he's going to have to do another lap around the circuit before he can go again.
If you're not watching anyone in particular, hop on board with Feber and just look at what he does on this tyre. It's actually impressive. His car control is phenomenal. As I say that,
he's had a bit of a spin at in between the two Lesmos.
He was doing really well, I swear.
You can thank Psycho for that fever.
Oh man.
Jump on board with Urban Skyther, who's starting his final laps. Combined YouTuber goes fastest to the 129.095. Big Al 129 flat. That's great pace from the Ferrari driver there. Really, really good to see him right up the pointy end of the grid.
Yeah, he's definitely safe to Q2. Don't think anyone's going to top that anytime soon. But in saying that, they still can't really guarantee they're safe because this track is drying, so this tyre is going to get faster and faster and faster. But yeah, like you said with the tyre management, I don't really know if any of these guys are going to be keen to put that second set of inters on for Q1. They're going to want to try and stick to this one set of tyres.
Yeah, so Hero at the moment needs to, and he is chucking on the inters as he's on an outlap now. He needs to get faster than his teammate because, as you said, there's only one person who's going to be eliminated apart from Captain of Gold, who crashed out. So Tannis is a 128.912, first driver into the 28s. As Urban Skyther goes 12th, so Ekem is now the driver who is going to be knocked out unless he can pull something together. He's validated his first 2 laps in the one corner, so he's going to be under a lot of pressure here to try and put in a decent time. We do have a few minutes to go in the session, so he does have time to go.
He's taking this a lot slower, being more careful, which is exactly what he should do. You just want to make sure that you're not the last driver.
Big Al at 28.4. We've got Snags in the chat pointing out that the pole for Tier 3, which was also intermediate conditions, was a 128.3. Bearing in mind, though, that Tier 3, it was heavy rain. This is only light rain. I think by the end of the qualifying session in Tier 3, it was pretty much getting to the full wet end of the spectrum. Just because that's why they're pretty close to that pace. So Tier 3's normally only a fraction of a second off Tier 1's qualifying pace in the dry, but we go. Ekem set to 128.891. He's got one together, but Hero is now in the danger zone, as I think that was Bieber there just put in a time. Puts him above Trin, who's in the pits with the intermediate selected.
It's definitely a bit strange seeing the likes of Batemate, Feber and Hero that far down the timing chart.
Yeah, absolutely. Snags, no, I'd like to clarify, I am definitely one of the slowest in Tier 3. By no means am I trying to say that I'm faster than anyone. And Hero looks like he's really struggling with this McLaren in the exit of the corners, just really struggling to control the traction.
Well, something else these guys would obviously know what they're doing, but they wouldn't have adjusted the setup at all for wet conditions because it is going to be a dry race, so this will be a pure dry setup.
And that was the same in Tier 3 as well. We had a full dry race scheduled, and so everyone was trying to do quali in the wet with the dry setup, and it's so difficult. The rear just wants to step out at every opportunity.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. You can adjust the diff, tyre pressures, and then a little bit of wing, but that's about it. Mickey pointing out that Gus will win the championship.
I'm pretty sure mathematically I can't win the championship even if I won every race from here, so... Oh, big drift from Hero to the final corner, and he's lost it. He's kept it out of the wall, but that has ruined this lap.
He nearly
Still
did a
goes
Charles
P11
Leclerc.
at 29.2 with that massive drift and off-roading out of the final corner.
That just shows you how
he's
much
done
the track is ramping up.
Yeah, absolutely. We see there's a Haas there going straight on at turn 1, so it looks like it's still a bit tricky out there. And the yellow flags pop up here and there as drivers getting out of the way. I think Trin's getting ready to do a lap. He's currently in the danger zone, so I'm going to jump on board with the Haas driver now. See if he can get above Feber, who's still in the wets and still in the pits. So I think he's waiting for the last possible chance to go out and set a time on the Inters.
Yeah, knowing these guys, they'd all be fully well aware that there's only one driver getting knocked out, and they're all going to push really hard to make sure that that's not them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, fun fact about Trin, he pointed out in Discord earlier today that he has been crashed out, I think, of every Monza he's done in the last few seasons. So, keep an eye on him for the start of the race. He said, watch out turn 1. So, we'll definitely follow him. Hopefully, he's had a pretty rough string of races as well with some lap 1 incidents. So, hopefully, this is the exception to the rule and he actually gets a good race tonight because he certainly deserved it after a few seasons of some rough incidents he's been involved in.
He's had some ups and some downs. He had a really good start with us where he had, I believe, one of the most consistent point scoring streaks of anyone for a long time, and I don't know what happened then.
Became washed.
Oh, poor guy. Well, this looks like a good lap. This should at least get him out of the danger zone.
Yeah, that's it. Feber's on an outlap as well with Inter tyres, so he is looking to secure a spot in Q2. Trin comes around the final corner, staying well clear of that white line. He doesn't want to invalidate this late into the session. He'll come across the line and goes fastest with the 1:28.071, so good lap time there from Trin.
That shows you how much this track is ramping up. That was a, don't get me wrong, that was a good lap, but it was by no means an exceptional lap. Like, he took that very, very casually to make sure that he didn't invalidate it. So this track is getting so fast, so no one is really safe yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Just got a few drivers. So CGM is actually down 2.3 seconds on his time. It looks like he might have made a mistake at the second variante. Jump forward with the Williams of Pondon at the moment. He's going through Curva Grande, coming up to the second variante, and he's up on his delta by 800ths of a second. Still raining pretty steadily in the second sector.
Yeah, Feber's about to cross the line, and we'll see if he can get himself out of that. Oh no, he's on an outlap. Ignore me.
Usually do.
That's fair.
No. We'll jump to him in a second. Just going to watch the rest of this lap from Pondon. And then we'll jump aboard with Feber, see if he's able to get himself out of that elimination zone. Got 3.5 minutes to go.
Still displaying, I'm going to curse him again, damn it. Still displaying that excellent car control. He locked up into turn 1, but carried the speed beautifully through there. Very similar to here, he's locking the tyres, but he's doing it in a way that he can still turn the car and he still gets the car where he needs it to be. So it's very impressive to see his pure pace and how he can throw a car into a corner and still get it out.
Absolutely, we're back on board. But he's invalidated as I jumped on board with him, and he's in the grass as well. Manages to keep it together.
I'm just going to go. I'm just going to leave. This is ridiculous.
Well, Ponton managed a 1:28.655, so he looks like he'll be safe. But on board with Feber now, 2.5 minutes to go, and he has all of the pressure on him. He's got time enough to do 2 laps, but it's going to be down to the wire as to whether or not he can get through.
Snag, Jordan and Matt Deborah just aren't racing this week. Nothing happened to them. That I'm aware of anyway.
Alright, Feber starting a new lap here. He needs to improve by at least a second to get through. Now, we've noted already that the track evolution, as we see, Tanas do a 27.991, first driver into the 27s. is starting to take place as times are dropping rapidly. So it probably will be a case of whoever crosses the line last will be safe. As Crash sets to 27.963.
I'm just going to look away. I'm going to look at someone else, not looking at FIBA.
Well, he's already made the mistake while we are on this cross, so he should be good for the rest of it. Got a minute 30 left in the session, so anyone who leaves the pits now will not be able to make it around. So I think we've got Trin and Eckham on outlaps. I think they'll both be fine.
There's a bit of traffic going through the Lesmos now.
Yeah, you can see them in Sector 2. Oh, he had all four wheels across the line there at Ascari. Didn't get an invalidation, so lucky there.
FIBA on the absolute limit. Nothing short of provisional pole will do for him.
And we've got 50 seconds left in qualifying one. Pretty conservative through the final corner. A bit of a drift as well, mid-corner. You'll come across the line. I don't think it's good enough. Yep, 27.620. Great lap there from FIBA, and he will be safe and through to qualifying 2. I'm jumping on board with CJM now, who is currently in the elimination zone. Combined YouTuber who was quickest briefly in the session is now in the danger zone as well. And CGM will come across the line with 20 seconds to go. And he is still P16, 28.913. I'm going to stay on board with him for this lap because this will decide whether or not he's in or out of Q2. His Hero's retired. He's happy with that time, 28.237. Everyone behind him, though, still on a lap. But Pondon, there's a checkered flag. So Hero will be safe. So will T-Mac.
Pressure on CJM and combined.
Well, pressure on everyone below Pondon because essentially they have to beat that 28.4 to guarantee that they'll be through. Eckham's got the checkered flag now, so looks like Urban Skyther is safe as well. It's now down to Pepsi combined or CJM. They have to do better than a 28.670. Let's see, we'll get the split time for CJM in just a moment. And he's up by nearly a tenth. That won't be enough to put him through. FIBA goes faster again. And combined YouTuber is safe, so now it's just down to Pepsi and CJM as to who's going to make it through. CJM needs to find another 10th here or he will be out. I think well, Pepsi's gone through. So it's now to CJM and Eckham.
I think he's out. Eckham's got 4/10 on, or 3/10 on him.
Well, CJM comes across the line. He improves by 2.5 tenths. He's got him. He's got him by 16
He got him.
Eckham is out of qualifying. Where did he find those extra couple of tenths? Because he was not looking good at all.
He must have made a very large mistake coming out of Parabolica.
But Eckham out in Q1. I think for the last few races, he's been getting through to Q3 pretty comfortably. So that is a big surprise to see him out of qualifying.
Well, he was saying in Tier 1 chat today that he's trying to get the wing as low as he possibly can to get some pace, and I think his dry setup is just very much not suited for the wet at all if he went low enough on the wing and he didn't make any adjustments.
He wasn't the one who was saying that he didn't have to practice for Monza because Monza was easy, was he?
I think he was. Can someone get that screenshot for me, please?
That is just so typical. Screenshot that and chuck that into the AFR quotes because that is... well, that's what happens when you don't practice in Tier 1.
Yep.
There we go. So FIBA fastest with a 27.290. And CJM scrapes it in with a 28.654. Eckham unfortunately out by just the skin of his teeth. Captain of Gold unfortunately not able to set a time. Crashing out on his first flying lap. And we'll be going through to Q2 with just 15 drivers.
Yeah, so typically how it works with these sessions is that the weather keeps changing as it goes on. So I would imagine we'd have a similar type of scenario where it starts off relatively wet and then it would just keep drying and drying and drying. So Yeah, Q2 should be at least as exciting as Q1.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially if it's potentially going to go to slicks at the very end. Here we go, loaded in. Still sprinkling of rain at the moment, but it does look like it's a bit lighter than when we started qualifying.
Now, as the rain eases, I don't know if it's dry enough for it yet, but you know how when we do dry quality, the guys use Inter tires. It would
Yes.
be interesting to see, because we've been trying to save some Inter tires. It'd be interesting to see if anyone comes out on softs.
Well, Hero's got them selected in the garage, but everyone else is on the Inters. I think maybe Hero's just waiting to see what FIBA reports back when he goes out. We are seeing it. Oh, there we go. FIBA is heading out, but Hero's staying in. So, interested to see what happens there. Thank you very much for the follow, Unknown Lambo, and also HFR73. Thank you for your support. Hope you're enjoying the coverage at the moment. We've got 14 minutes in this qualifying 2 session remaining. Drivers all coming out on Inter tyres, and Hero has gone back to the Inters. It looks like the forecast for this session might be still this light drizzle. And we are hoping, though, we might see some slick running either at the end of this session or Q3.
It's definitely getting less and less, even around the Lesmos now. There's less rain.
And we did note that was the wetter part of the track as well. It seemed the rain was much heavier down that end than it was at Parabolica, but we'll see how it plays out in this session. Sky's looking a bit brighter as well. It's pretty dark in Q1. Oh, as Pepsi has a big snap coming out of Ascari. Keeps it out of the wall, but that is not the kind of preparation you want to do on your outlap for Q2. Go comes into Parabolica, and we'll jump on board with the Haas driver as he commences his first flying lap in Q2. Oh, big lock up into turn 1. He gets it stopped, but it's compromised his line out of turn 2.
A lot of drivers seem to do that into turn 1, tier 1. They seem to really lock the fronts and just throw the car in.
Well, I guess if you don't need the intermediate tyres for the race, it doesn't really matter if they're not really drivable once you've done your 1 or 2 laps in quali, but here it goes again, locking both the fronts, coming into the second variante, but again, it looks like a pretty good line there from Pepsi. Swings it into the first Lesmo, using a good amount of track there. Second Lesmo as well, looking pretty good. Oh, he's used too much curb, and he's in the wall. Oh, I think he went side on though. He's lost an end plate.
Hopefully no side pod or floor damage.
Yeah, he's still got all his wheels attached though, so he is looking like he'll be able to continue, but that is not great for his first lap in Q2. I'm on board with T-Mac now for Alpine. Hopefully he's feeling a bit better this week. He was a bit under the weather last time around. Here we go, T-Mac will come across the line. It's a 128.250, so not as quick as we saw in the last session, but we expect the track ramps up. He's actually gone faster than Mika there, only managed a 28.432. And I think Batemate has invalidated his first run, so we'll jump aboard with him for his next lap. Heading down into turn 1, it almost looks like it's not raining. It's starting to clear up a bit. Tringo's fastest for 28.104.
I think we might be on slicks by the end of this session, not even Q3.
Possibly. 27.8 for Big Al. Times aren't as good as they were in the last session though, so I don't know, I think there's probably a little bit of standing water that's got to clear first before we can go on to the slicks. And it is still sprinkling a bit of rain, so I think that'll probably keep the slicks away for Q2, but I think we will see them in Q3. 27.7 there from Hero.
Honestly, I think we're maybe 5 minutes away from slicks.
Well, going through Ascari, it looks like the rain has stopped now. I'm not seeing anything on the screen at all. is a fair bit of glossy, wet stuff on the track. A lot of standing water as well off the racing line, so I think we're a couple of minutes away from slick running now. There we go, Bate goes third with a 28.0. Combined YouTube is getting next across the line. He's set to 28.433. Urban Skyther as well. Get to set a time, but he's coming up to the final corner now. And he comes across the line, sets off 28.616. So, Poly Pepsi is currently on an out lap, yet to set a time. Crush and Andocat still in the pits though on their intermediate tyres, so you think they're just in the garage, just flicking between the inters and the softs, waiting to see that delta to turn negative for the softs.
That's exactly what they're doing.
As we say that, they're going out laps on the intermediate tyre.
I'm just done. I'm just not having a good day here.
Does look like a lot of the drivers starting to come into the pits. We've got CJ and Big Al just come into the garage now. Oh, is Pepsi getting too much curb? Thankfully, it's just an out lap. We've got some drivers staying out on track. Pepsi lets his teammate go through. Bieber sets to 27.5 as Big Al selected the soft tyre.
Yeah, I'm on board with Pepsi coming out of Parabolica, and I think these inters are overheating.
Yeah, there's not much spray coming off the tyres at all. Like, the track looks wet, but there's nothing coming off the tyre. So I think it's now. I think it's softs now. And look at him. Look at the lack of traction coming out of the corners. That's not because it's too wet. That's temperature.
Yeah. I'd say everyone's going to be jumping on the softs in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Tape FG, how you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Pepsi locking up massively. Running wide again. So much understeer.
He's coming to Ascari. We'll see how it holds up under braking here. Oh, squealing brakes. He pulls it up. But, oh, how much curb do you want to take, Pepsi?
If he went faster, that would have been invalid.
Absolutely.
Because he was completely off the track.
Well, Big Al's still in the pits. Keep an eye on him, though. Bieber sets a 27.4, so he's still setting faster times on the intermediate tyre. Oh, there's a big tank slapper from Apollo Pepsi in Parabolica. Just touched the curb a little bit. Only sets a 29.4. Jump aboard with Crush in the Ferrari. It's just come out of Ascari.
Chase saying there's some spray in the pits, but I expect to see this pretty soon, Chase. And Tape, we have a Discord link in the bio.
There we go. P6 for Crush, 28 flat. And Andocat will be next across the line. And he sets a 28.4. So here we go, getting to a really interesting phase as Eckham has left the session. Hopefully he'll be back shortly.
It's in that really awkward phase now where the inters are not going to improve at all, but the softs still aren't viable.
Well, Fever's down by a second now. Let's jump aboard with Crush, who's about 500ths of a second as Eckham rejoins, thankfully. Oh, but he takes a lot of curb there, second Varianti. And got a bit of airtime like that Formula 3 car yesterday at Spain.
That was scary.
So we'll see Delta at the next detection point. Here we go. And he's currently down by 2.5 tenths, Crush. Let's see, Andocat is up by 2.5 tenths. 4.5 tenths. So Ando's found some time, but not really seeing anyone looking like they're really going to break a 28 at the moment. Now, Hero, Big Al, and Trin have got the softs on the car now. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the session. And we're going to see them come out and use them.
If they don't leave very, very soon, it's going to be a one-shot qualifying.
Absolutely, but I think it's probably still a little bit too wet. There's a lot of standing water off the racing line.
Yeah, you're right. Regardless of that, it really, honestly, is a one-shot regardless.
27.7 there from Andocat, so still is some time to find here. CJM currently up by 0.02 of a second. And Baymate's on an outlap on the intermediate tyre, so the AlphaTauri pit wall think that it's not going to get any better, at least for slicks to be used.
Pepsi is half a second up on his time.
Yeah, but he's about a couple of seconds up
never
and
mind.
he died at a scurry. Well, CJM's into the pits. We're seeing Tanis and Pondon come out of the pits as well on the intermediate tyre. No one brave enough yet to come out on the softs.
They're all holding it. Everyone's patiently waiting. They will all come out for one more run. I think they're just not 100% certain yet if their last run is going to be on the inters or the softs. Tape, let me know if you found the Discord link okay.
There we go. So at the moment, the cutoff time for Q3 is a 128.357, and Mikau is outside the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, he'd want to.
I think he's leaving the pits now, and I think he's on the intermediate tyres.
He would have had feedback from Bait.
Here we go. So Apollo Pepsi looks like he's still finding a bit of time out there. We'll get a split time at the end of the next straight. Looking a little bit better than he did last time around. It's starting to get a lot more light through the clouds. So it's going to be really interesting. We've got T-Mac on the softs on an outlap. Oh, we're going to have to keep an eye on that.
Bait just had a massive snap. Couple of guys sitting on the softs in the pits now.
Well, they've got 2.5 minutes to go, so they're running out of time to do it. And they need to make sure they've generated enough temp in their tyres to start that lap. And oh, they're coming out now. Here we go. They're all coming out on the soft, so T-Mac has triggered the entire field coming out on the soft tyres for quality. Apollo Pepsi improves by 4 tenths. That's a 28.1. Well, let's see. T-Mac there, P9. At the moment, he is tiptoeing out of the second, Lesmo. Oh, it's not time. It's not time.
The inters are too slow though as well. Bait's 8 tenths down. So it's in that awkward period where the inters are heating up too much.
We just saw Urban Skyther improve though. He went P8 with a 28 flat. So
okay.
I'd be keen to see what Mikau's times are doing, but I'm going to stay with T-Mac at the moment. But
I'll keep an eye on Mikau.
Because he's on used intermediate tyres as well. They're 2 laps old, those ones.
I think that's all he's got left.
Oh, big snapper over Stephen T-Mac coming out of the final corner. This is not ready for slicks.
Mikau's about half a tenth up in Sector 1.
T-Mac coming into turn 1. Oh, he's locked the fronts and he's gone deep. No, so it does not look like the track is ready for the slick tyres yet. CJM's crashed out at Curva Grande.
Oh no.
He was on the slick tyres as well.
Mikau's 2 tenths up. He needs to find another 2 tenths if he wants to even think about making it to Q3.
Heroes come straight back into the pits and retired, so he's not going to use the softs as probably Pepsi retires as well. He's out of qualifying P11. Jumping ball with Trin, who has invalidated his outlap. And he's stuck up on the high line. Urban Skyther goes through on the inside. Trin's going to try and put a time in.
Mikau's through.
Here we go. P6, 127.893. So he must have had a bad third sector on his quickest run. And as Trin outbreaks himself, and he's not going to set a better time there.
Now, Bait is the driver at risk at the moment. He is nearly a tenth and a half up, and there you go. He will put himself in a P5.
So T-Mac's out at the moment on soft tyres as well. I don't think he's going to improve there. Urban Skyther has the P10 time of 28.050. It's just Pondon and Combined, really, that are going to be able to put their shoe in the ring. I don't think it's a hat in the ring, but you get what I'm trying to say. Pondon will come across the line. And he gets a checkered flag. 28.1 did not improve, so he's out of qualifying. Combined YouTube is down by 600ths of a second at the moment. Still has a sector and a half to go, as Trin is out. Has retired, but I think he's going to make it through. Yeah, P8.
Just Combined left now, and he's a tenth, nearly 2 tenths up. He needs a lot more than that.
Imagine these conditions are going to be so treacherous on the pad. And here we go. Combined flicks it into Parabolica. A lot of understeer, drifts out wide, but he's going to cut it back. Shorten the track distance. Oh, he's run out of fuel. Oh, he's run out of fuel. Oh, no. Combined ran out of fuel out of the final corner. And he doesn't improve. And he's out of qualifying, along with T-Mac, Apollo, Pepsi, Pondon, and CJM.
I'd say the track would probably be nearly ready for slicks now.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do for Q3? Come out on used intermediates instead of bank lap and then go softs at the end, or?
Depending on how much the track dries, I'd say that might be what some of these guys do. Some of the teams might send one car out just to get a feel for it. But yeah, unfortunately, T-Mac leading a lot of drivers astray there.
Well, they all had the soft selected, so they would have had access to the delta difference between the two. So I don't know. I think they all had the opportunity to set another time on the inters, but I don't think anyone really missed out. And T-Mac's probably the only one in the bottom 5 that really we see up in the top 10 regularly in qualifying. So, but nonetheless, we had a fastest time of 127.404 from FIBA, and we had Crush sneaking in with a 128.042, and we had T-Mac, Apollo, Pepsi, Pondon, Combined YouTuber, and CJM getting eliminated from qualifying. So, loading into qualifying 3, and that'll decide our top 10 order.
Even in these treacherous conditions, from 1st to 15th was just over a second.
Yeah, absolutely. So still pretty close, even with the treacherous conditions. Thank you very much for the follow. It's Toddy.
Yes, this is Tier 1. These are the fastest drivers we've got in AFR.
Well,
that's dry.
No
that's
rain.
Dry.
All the drivers are on the softs. I think we're going to see some flat-out qualifying times here now.
Yeah, so some of these guys I know are absolutely rapid, like beyond reason. Wouldn't be surprised if I see FIBA do a 29.2. It's Toddy. Yep, check the bio on Twitch. There's a Discord link in there.
Okay, Trin starting his outlap.
Been looking a lot more confident now than he did 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And they'll have a ton of fresh soft tyres to use as well, so they will be able to go flat out and they won't have to worry about using an old set from an earlier session. And they'll still have a spare set for the race as well, so this is very good news for these drivers.
That'll be definitely handy in the race, as the softs do last quite a long time, and the delta difference is pretty big.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, given Q2 was wet, all these drivers will be able to have free choice of tyre. Do you start on the softs, or you reckon anyone will go for an alternate strategy with the mediums?
No, I reckon they'll start on the softs. So, because I said that, they're going to do the opposite of what I said. But the reason I say that is because the slipstream and the DRS is so powerful around here. It's just vital. If you lose it, it's very hard to catch up again. So I'd be very surprised if anyone decided to go for the mediums, because it's just not worth losing that time.
Yeah, good point.
Chaz in chat saying crossplay on 22. We haven't decided whether or not we're going to be expanding to consoles yet.
Yeah, it makes it a bit difficult. People having to be in the voice chat all at the same time, and I think as well. I don't know how the in-game names are going to work. So you can nickname people on Steam, whereas you can't in I think EA Play. I think you can't. And I'm not sure about how the other consoles are going to work. How you can get everyone to join the same lobby, all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot to work out, which we'll won't really know until the game comes out in about a month's time. So stay tuned, though. We'll have something up on the Discord once we decide what we're going to do.
And looking like he's going to put in a pretty safe banker lap.
Yeah, noticed he taking a little bit wide in some parts, but I think he's just getting a feel for the grip that's out there at the moment. Comes into Parabolica. It's Toddy saying Urban for pole. We'll see. Jump aboard with him in a moment. He's just behind Trin at the moment, who sits at 20.397, so solid banker lap there from the Haas driver. Urban Skyther commencing his lap, but I think, isn't FIBA pretty high up in the standings globally for Monza?
He's pretty near the world record.
Well, we've got a 120.107 from Hero, Big Al with a 20.207, and Crush with a 20.4.
Conservative times for those guys. I'd expect most of them to be in the 19s by the end of it. Trin doing a mega in lap. He wants to try and get 3 runs in, I think.
Well, it's going to be possible. It's a very quick lap here in Monza. FIBA sets a 119.777. Great time there for the McLaren driver.
I can't work out if these two Alpha Tauris are doing a bit of a tow thing or what the scenario is there, but it looks good.
You would say that as their team manager?
Oh boy, I see it. Okay, did give Bate a bit of a tow down the main straight.
There we go, Urban coming into the final corner. We'll see how close he is to FIBA's time. This is looking pretty good though. Shortens the track distance across the line, and he goes P6 for the 20.3, so he's 6/10 of a second off the pace. He's locked up into turn 1 as well. Run a little bit deep. Looks like he's going again. I think the Alpha Tower is doing that as well.
Gus is the one with the sexy voice. I'm the other one.
So we both have pretty deep voices, so I don't know if you can really say the one with the deeper voices. What do you say? I'm Bruce Mac. So no, you're Bruce McAvaney, and I'm Dennis Cometti.
I'll take that.
What you want to call Mikau delicious? Is that what you want to do?
Oh, all day, every day. So, pretty rapid times by these guys. All of them within a second, quite comfortably. But I do expect to see the times drop. I'd say the top 5 or 6 might be in the 19s by the end of it.
Skyther comes in, so you're right. They're all doing very, very rapid in-laps to try and get 3 runs in. Mate's still out there, but it doesn't look like he's pushing. He's got the fuel light on, so he'll have to come into the pits shortly. Toddy, I turned 29 yesterday, so I feel old as... yeah.
Aha, I got 1 year on you.
Wonderful. Thank you for the follow, minions. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Everyone's getting a new set of tyres on their car at the moment, and we'll jump aboard with Heroes on an outlap at the moment.
I think Bait oofed that up.
He's out of fuel at the moment, so he's limping back to the pits. I don't think he's going to get 3 runs in. No, you've got me there, Toddy. No, we've got a few drivers who are a bit more experienced, and one of them actually picked up a couple of points in Tier 3 earlier this evening. So well done to Conrad. Solid drive from him. I could not catch him in a straight line. He had an absolutely rapid setup, so hats off to him with a pretty solid race there. Thanks, Ali. For those who don't know, Ali is my grandson. Anyway, on board with Hero, who's on a flying lap going through Curva Grande.
Sorry, that broke me.
So Hero going into the Lesmos now. And looks like Hero's really committed now. Absolutely pumping out the splits at the moment. 4/10 up, so that's going to be a 19.7 as well. Takes so much curb into Ascari, nearly loses it on the curb in the middle of the chicane. But he is absolutely throwing everything at this lap at the moment, and he could be into the 19.6s if he finishes off with a nice parabolica here. Oh, he's nearly lost the rear. He catches the slide. Is that going to hurt his time at all, though? He cuts as much as he can. A 5.33, so he's found another couple of tenths in that final sector as well. That's a great lap from Hero.
About what I would expected to see from him. Rapid time. And yeah, you saw he made a few mistakes, so there's a couple of tenths in there comfortably.
So Ando Katz had validated his first run, so we're going to jump aboard with Artanis from Williams.
Chaz pointing out that this is a very confusing family.
I know Trin fits into it somewhere, but I'm not sure how it all plays out, to be honest.
I honestly think Trin's lineage changes from week to week.
It does. We got a purple first sector for Artanis. Oh, he's so committed through the second Lesmo. Oh, he's 2 seconds up. Oh, but it's going to put him at a 120.3. He had a shocking first lap.
Yeah, he'll want to do a little better than that.
It's still going to put him up around about P7. And I imagine there's going to be a bit more time to find in this final sector as well. He flicks it into Parabolica. We've got a minute 44 left in the session. A few drivers still on outlaps, so they'll have plenty of time to get around. And he comes across, gets a time of 119.7. That final sector was absolutely electric. And he's pipped Phoebe there for P2.
Yeah, that's a very good lap by Jackson.
Trin comes across the line, improves by 500ths of a second, stays P4. Then drop down to Big Al, who's going through Parabolica as well. Currently up by 2.5 tenths. That'll get him into the 19s as well. And he sets a 19.784, just 7,000th of a second off Feber. As Hero's retired, he's done and dusted. And Urban Skyler coming through the Parabolica as well. He ran a little bit higher than we've seen the others go. And I wonder if that's just going to hurt his time a little bit. And he comes across the line, improves by half a second. 19.828 from him. Pips Trin, but can't do any better. We jump aboard with Feber, the man himself. And he'll get the checkered flag when he comes around this time.
This should be the pole lap as he goes very deep, locks those tyres like he did on the soft, but man, the speed he's carrying through there is just ridiculous.
And he runs in a much higher gear as well than we see a lot of the other drivers do, and just controls that wheel spin so well, and he can get on the throttle as early as possible, and then he carries that speed all the way down to the second Variante. Amazing stuff.
I've also never seen anyone mount that inside curb the way he does. Obviously shortening the track distance. it just throws the car in there, kicks the rear out, and just forces it around.
And there's no corrections either. You watch his hands, and it's just one swift action right into the corner. He turns in and straightens up. That's all he does.
Yeah, it's brilliant to watch. He's 4/10 up.
That'll be good enough for a 19.3. Ascari looks pretty good as well.
Yeah, I did say a 19.2, so see if he can get there or not. But man, what a rapid time this is going to be. Oh, so much control through there.
There we go. He comes across the line. And it's P1 with a 19.2 for a rapid lap from FIBA.
That's throwing the gauntlet down.
As invalidated, but he's towed Mikau down the straight towards Parabolica. To see Mikau running up a little bit high, but he cuts back. And it'll carry the speed all the way across the checkered flag. And he goes P4 with a 19.642. Coming on board with Crush, who'll be the last one to get the checkered flag. Oh, sorry, our Tannis is still running behind him as well. And he's up on his time as well. And there we go, a 19.917 as Batemate comes to the pits, and our Tannis... no, he was 9 seconds down on his Delta, so our Tannis just pulling our legs a little bit as he crossed the line.
I'm just reading chat. Ali's got the one-liners tonight.
Face behind the wheel, yeah.
Oh, man.
Apparently Urban invalidated right at the line, so I imagine he's taken too much of the over the line there to cross the checkered flag, so he apparently was a couple of tenths up, so that would have put him, maybe 3rd or 4th, so it's very disappointing for him. And yeah, Mr. Major, absolutely unbelievable lap there from FIBA. He's 3 tenths clear of the rest of the field, so that's absolutely nuts there. So he's got pole with a 119.248. His teammate Hero makes it a McLaren front row with a 119.533. And just 3,000ths of a second behind him is Big Al in the Alpine. So absolutely mega close there between those two. Mikau came across P4. Just behind him by about a tenth is Artanis, followed by Trin and Urban Skyther, all within a tenth of each other, followed by Crush, Batemate, and Andocar. Unfortunately, not quite able to pull the lap together to make any positions up.
That's definitely within about 2 tenths of the world record, Mr. Major. Those first 4 drivers, I think, Phoebe's fast. He's got that 1 lap pace, but his race pace isn't quite as good. So I would imagine he won't be able to pull away from Hero, and Hero won't be able to pull away from Big Al, and Big Al won't be able to pull away from Mikau. So we're going to see an intense game of leapfrog for the next 27 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen a few times as well, if FIBA does get caught out by a safety car or finds himself a little bit down the field, that he does have a little bit of trouble sometimes working his way back up. So while he does have that flat out raw pace, he just struggles with a little bit of that wheel-to-wheel racing at times. So hopefully, we'll see a good race today in Monza, and don't just get a endless DRS train for the next 38 minutes or so. What have we got? Thank you very much for the follow, Aiden. How you doing? As we just wait for the drivers to confirm their strategies. Now, we're expecting everyone to start on the soft tyre. As Psycho pointed out earlier, it's imperative that you try and stay with the DRS train. Otherwise, you do drop back quite a bit and you will end up losing out in the long run. Good, thanks. Good, thank you. Always good when I'm commentating Tier 1. Let's have a look at the tyres. Everyone on the softs except for Captain of Gold. So Captain of Gold, of course, crashed out of qualifying. He was on his first hot lap and did not set a time.
Captain of Gold did that just to spite me.
Well, I mean, you're at the back of the field. You may as well do something different, because it's going to be very difficult to pass with the DRS train. So, yeah, I mean, may as well try something that far down. Your teammate's P7, so he's got the primary strategy. So, yeah, I think that's fine.
Just checking our chat in Discord, and Captain of Gold was Playing solitaire while we waited for T1 to end.
That's great. Yeah, that's the one problem with doing full quali is that if you crash out on your first lap in Q1, you're sitting there for at least another half an hour while everyone qualifying.
So, Captain of Gold, I have got an update from him. He is 0-1 for qualifying, and he's 0-2 for solitaire, so hopefully he can turn it around in this game.
How do you lose solitaire?
He's lost it twice.
Alright, on drivers. Oh, we've got an AlphaTauri in the wall. That looks like Mikau has binned it on the straight. Luckily for him, that in Formula 1 games, you do not do any damage for crashing on the formation lap, but yeah. I might need to have a chat to your driver there, Psycho.
That hurts me in a way that it shouldn't.
Alright, well, drivers are forming up on the grid now, so it won't be too long until we're underway. Have a look at this, what are we going to show? Interval, and then we're going to show some position changes once we start.
Might have to borrow the Red Bull pit crew from Hungary last year.
Oh, come on, give me a better angle than that, please. Come on.
Which should adjust if you got the same angle I've got.
There we go, we're good. We got 5 red lights. It's a long hold and we're away. Looks like everyone got a pretty decent start. And I think that's Hero's actually been swamped by Big Al and he's gone defensive against Mikau. 3 wide going into turn 1. Big Al's caught in the middle of the sandwich. And it looks like Mikau actually had to cut the corner and he is dropping back through the field. Oh, there's a big incident. Big incident. And Artanis is out. And I think Mikau got caught up in that and just trying to find him in the grid. He's lost his front wing.
I saw that from Mikau's point of view. Artanis couldn't get traction down and just turned 90 degrees to the left and just punted Mikau clean off the track. Yeah,
it was unfortunate. We saw Artanis was absolutely a passenger once he lost the rear of the car. And we had Mikau get caught up in that. It was a virtual safety car deployed. So let's have a look. Mikau down 12 places. Artanis down 12 as well. Everyone else held position or gained. No one else lost out there. So very interesting start. I'm just going to bring up that replay that we've got. Now, I think I did just catch it. And there we go. You can see the Alpine. It just touched the grass in front of Mikau. That's what caused that incident. And he went spinning off into the wall, and that's broken his tyre. So very unfortunate for him. Just crossed that white line, touched the grass, and that's what sent him spinning around.
That has not gone very well. But on the bright side, Trin did make it past the first lap, so that's a good start.
Lee points out that it was Williams' granddad. And yes, it was. I always get the Williams and the Alpine mixed up with the new 2021 colours. Thank you for that, child. We're starting a virtual safety car and should go green flag racing shortly.
I've asked Nasty to keep it virtual for a while.
There we go, green flag racing as Mikau comes to the pit. So he did get a cheap stop. It's Big Al going around the outside of Hero and Kevin Grande. And he's got the inside to Varianti, but no, he tucks in behind the McLaren. Very close. So he had a mega run there out of the first Varianti. Hero able to defend that position quite well.
Yeah, Mikau will race. He'll keep going.
He's onto the medium tyres, so I think the mediums can actually go to the end from here, can't they, Psycho?
Ooh, not easily. That would be horrible. Wow. I don't imagine they'd take him to the end.
I mean, I'm sure if there's a safety car, he'll pit, but at least he's got a chance. And jump a bit for the back. CJM goes for a move on Captain of Gold into Ascari, and he moves up to P14.
Some of these guys are at risk of losing this DRS train. They need to make sure to catch up where and when they can. It's vital that they maintain DRS for as long as they can.
Yeah, Endocat there just slipped outside a second as Hero sets the fastest lap of the race. But yeah, Pondon is fairly close behind a Apollo Pepsi trying to get into the points as DRS is enabled. Thank you very much for the follow there, D-Mount. See Pepsi having a bit of a look there.
Oh, Big Al nearly doing exactly what Jackson did.
Oh, we've got
Managed
Eckham
to
off.
catch it, though.
Sorry to cut you off. We've got Eckham off at turn 2. Looks like he and CJM, Captain of Gold, got into a little bit of a tangle there, and he's dropped off 3 seconds off the pace now. So Baitmate's dropped off the back of Endercat as well. He's just got back into DRS, but he's touch and goes to whether or not he'll get it on this straight. And I don't think he's got it. No, so he's going to be very vulnerable to Apollo Pepsi here coming into Ascari.
Pepsi's not using ERS, he's not pushing for it.
He's probably just wanting to get towed along by Baitmate, but problem is the Baitmate's not going to be able to stay with Endocat here if he doesn't have DRS. I think he's using a little bit of his ERS to try and close back into Endo, but Endo's got the toe of the cars in front as well. So we've got a yellow flag, and Eckham is out. Eckham has crashed out at Ascari. And we've got a virtual safety car again.
Guys in the pits?
Yeah, look at that. Trin's come into the pits, so it's Urban Sky, the Team Mac and it's a full safety car now.
Full safety car, okay. Now we'll see these guys pit. They might go for that. Yep, they'll go for the mediums and potentially look at taking them, like you said, if not to the end, at least to the next safety car.
Absolutely.
That gives Mikhail a chance to catch up again.
So it looks like Eckham has lost it coming out of Ascari. We're not going to see the car because it's disappeared before Mikhail's got there. But this is very good for Mikhail. So he's back in the fight now.
Sorry.
No, that's all good. You go.
I was going to say, Toddy asking if the overlays are edited.
No, these overlays are all out of the box F1. The only things that are edited, obviously the replay feature we use is one of the OBS plugins you can use. But no, we are hopeful that in the next game we'll get some more customizability of the overlays because they're a bit bulky to take up a lot of the screen in 1080p. So hopefully the new game gives us some more optionality, and I think Race Labs as well might be able to do a bit of work on the new F1 game. Hopefully, if Codemasters give enough data in the UDP streams, but we'll just have to wait and see about that one.
So far, these two McLarens have been behaving themselves pretty well.
Going to be a double stack here from Hero. Is he going to lose out to Big Al here?
He will, absolutely. He might even lose out to Crush. Pepsi had the opportunity to pit, but he didn't. He dove into the pit lane last lap and then came back out again, but now he's in the pits. That's just going to cost him, isn't it?
Yeah, so Hero's lost his position to Crush as well. You're right. Jump both of them. Captain of Gold, who started on the medium tyre, currently finds himself in the lead of the race after crashing out on his first lap of qualifying. And here we go. We're getting a bit of a race towards turn 1, and I think Crush has ended up in front. Oh, there's contact between Trin and Crush as they fight for position behind the safety car. I think Crush just got out of the pit lane before Trin overtook him. And they were side by side through the first couple of corners. And banged tyres as well, but I think they got that all sorted in the end.
I'm hoping they got it sorted properly. I don't want that to be paperwork later on. So, Mikhail not quite back in the race yet. He's got a little bit of time to make up. Yeah, so you were right. Captain of Gold's in a pretty good spot at the moment. Obviously, he's still got to do another pit stop, but he wouldn't be upset about his current position.
No, absolutely. So, Toddy, I nickname all the drivers that we have in the Tier 1 race. So, they're all consistent because some of the drivers will change their names occasionally on Steam. So, I keep them all nice and consistent throughout the races. So, that'll be why you're seeing that difference on the other stream. Thank you very much for the follow, Mark of Gee. Hope you're enjoying the coverage so far. What are you giggling about over there, Psycho?
The McLaren is Rat Hero. Oh, beauty, you guys tend to have some shenanigans with the names.
They do
week
indeed.
To week.
So Mikau will catch the safety car train at the end of this lap. He comes to the pit, so he's tracking on, I'm guessing, another set of medium tyres. He will have a spare set of new ones from qualifying that they didn't use because it was wet. So that will probably mean that he won't catch the train when it comes in.
True, but this does mean he's planning on going to the end on these tyres.
True. The last ones he would have been a bit of a stretch, as you mentioned.
Yeah, he's got about 30 seconds to make up. He might be able to catch... Actually, he should be fine. He'll catch the train. Bearing in mind how slow Bert Mylander is on the straights, he'll...
Yeah, it does get called in very late as well, just before Parabolica, so it's quite possible that he will catch them.
Yeah, we'll have a look at what race control will do here, but Captain of Gold will also have to back the field up, so that'll give Mikhail an extra couple of seconds. He's going to win in Spain tonight, Leclerc or Max. If the Red Bull doesn't break, I'd say it's going to be Max.
It's going to be Sainz. I think Leclerc and Verstappen are going to crash at turn 1.
Possibly. Are we going to get another lap of safety car
we've got
here?
Another lap here. Mikau is about to catch the train.
I see, Captain of Gold is getting ready for it to come in. He's backing up.
Oh, we've got another lap.
I like how Cap didn't completely trust it. Like, he just sat back and waited until the car was past the pit lane.
We've seen it coming very, very late at Baku before. Obviously, race control here in Monza, wanting to be extra sure that the circuit is clear before they go back to green flag racing. Unknown Lambo reckons that Russell will win. He's shown some great pace this weekend in Spain, so yeah, I think that's not too much of an outrageous opinion.
Alright, this should well and truly be the last lap of safety car.
Absolutely, hopefully. So everyone's bunched up again. So the only driver who hasn't pit yet is Captain of Gold, who started on those medium tyres, but obviously he can't put on another set of mediums to go to the end, so expect him to come in, what do you reckon, around about lap 15, 17?
Safety car might have helped a little bit. He might push it a little later, but I'd be surprised if it was any later than 19.
Yeah. So he might be holding out for a late safety car, chuck on the softs and go to the end. The only problem with that is that everyone else will probably do the same thing. So,
well, if they get to safety car at the right time, then he'll actually won't lose any positions. So he'll be hoping for another one.
That's true.
Alright, so Captain is going to start backing up the field now, nice and early. Gives Bert time to get his car out of the way. And we get this nice little slalom effect going down the back straight.
Got to watch his speed. He's picking up a little bit too much. He's gone back down again by 20 k's an hour.
That's a bit dangerous.
Got to be a bit more consistent.
Let's see when he decides to go. Fluke's in chat pointing out the tier 1 is going to be a banger by Ekim, was a quote. Oh, Ekim definitely had a bang.
And he's gone. There we go.
Oh, he did not catch Fiba or Big Al napping at all.
No, pretty onto it. Looks like Crush has tried to go to the inside. Oh, it's a Trin Ghost. The outside, we've got Captain of Gold and Fiba side by side. And Fiba getting squeezed a little bit up onto the curb. Captain of Gold has lost that place now with Fiba catching the inside. We've got Trin and Crush going side by side as well, just behind around Curve Grande. We've got Urban Skyther, and I think that was T-Mac going side by side.
Mega move by Trin. What a dive on the outside.
Yeah, I almost thought he wasn't going to pull it up in time, but managed to get it sorted.
Hero would be very keen to get past both Crush and Trin. He's got the pace of the leaders. He just needs to be able to use it.
Yeah, he's lost out quite a bit through the pit stops, having a double stack with his teammate, but he's in very close behind Crush here on the straight heading towards Ascari. Pulls to the inside. He's using his overtake. He wants to clear the Ferrari as quickly as possible. And
Gonna do it.
Is going to let him go. No. Turns across. Oh, he's pushed up onto the curb though. They're going side by side through Sky. This is never safe. Oh, there's contact between the two. How they both survived, I don't know. But now Urban Skyther is going for a move around both of them around the left-hand side. And he has cleared them both. But Hero still trying to stay with it. But no, that was a great move by the Alfa Romeo driver.
Man, that was silly by Hero, to be honest. Trying to make a move there.
And jumping up to the front, Big Al's made the move on Captain of Gold as well. Those older mediums are really starting to slow him down compared to the others. He tucks in behind the Alpine on the run into turn 1, but I think that's just going to be so he can keep in front of Trin, who's right behind him as well. Trin doing very well so far. Now Hero going for a big move on Urban Skyther again into the turn 1 and 2 chicane. And it looks like he's got the move done. It was a little bit hip and shoulder like, but he's been able to get through without too much hassle. And he's up into P5. Urban Skyther looks like he's trying to come back at him. Hero goes defensive cover on the inside. And Urban not able to get the move done into second Varianti.
Yeah, Hero knows he's got to get past the guy as soon as he can, and then also not compromise himself too much trying to defend it.
He's already out of DRS range of Trin, so he's got to get a move on. And DRS will be enabled in the next lap as Mikau gets the move done on Pondon out of the second Lesmo. And he's up into P12, so we didn't actually notice that. Mika's had a mega start. We see combined YouTuber as well, all over the back of Pondon, heading into Ascari. He's going to make a little move. In the Ferrari, he's not. But yeah, Mikau up to 12th after being dead last after that restart.
Yeah, Mikau showing us his pace. He should be up at the front fighting with Fiber and Big Al, and he's going to do his best to try and get as much points as he can out of this race. Hero not quite making up time to Trin. Does he have damage?
Oh, we've got Combined User and CJM having a little... Oh, Combined's actually had a spin. He's lost his front wing at Parabolica. He and Pondon coming into the pit, so they've both picked up damage. Now Trin has cleared Captain of Gold. And Trent now up onto the third place on the podium. Captain of Gold stopped out. We've got a virtual safety car, so I think that'll be for the front wing that's sitting on Parabolica's racing line. So this is our second virtual safety car of the race so far, so this will help Pondon and Combined, who are both coming in to get some damage repaired. And Hero, yeah, so you said he's not really showing as much pace as the others ahead of him, Psycho.
No, he seems to be struggling a little bit. I would have expected him to make up a lot more time on Trin and Cap there, but he just hasn't been able to do it for some reason, which is a bit strange. Ooh, these gaps have gotten very large under the VSC. These front guys want to make sure they're within this DRS range. If they're not, if Fiber gets that second gap, even just for one lap, he's gone.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
Going to out and you won't see him
he'll
again.
push on that first lap of Green Flag Racing just to pull the gap out even more. That'll be it. He'll disappear.
Yeah. As soon as he breaks it, he's gone. I think same with Big Al and Trin behind.
There we go, Green Flag Racing again, DRS enabled. And Fiber's bolted as well.
Those two are gone. I don't think Hero has a chance to catch him now.
Captain of Gold, though, going with Trin, though. And Trin going very defensive, trying to break the toe. And it looks like he's stayed in front of the Alfa Romeo. And see, Urban Skyther looks like he's in a bit of trouble. He crushed, has got a very good run. Oh, a bit of contact between the Ferrari and Alfa Romeo. They're going side by side through Curva Grande. Great shot showing these guys giving each other barely enough racing room as Urban Skyther's got the inside line into the second Varianti. How they're going to go on the braking, the side by side. The Alfa Romeo, a bit of contact again between the two. And Crush takes the position now. Urban Skyther is under a lot of pressure now. He's got T-Mac and Apollo Pepsi, Baitmate right behind him.
So much going on here. I don't know where to look, to be honest.
Absolutely.
What I can tell you for sure is that Fiber has checked out.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds clear of Big Al already, so it looks like he is basically in cruise control now. We'll keep an eye on this midfield battle, which is getting very spicy, which is very un-Monza-like. A big snap of oversteer from Crush there we saw in the foreground. Big correction as he came across the exit curve of Ascari. And he's under a fair bit of pressure. Mikau getting past Andocat as well, heading into Parabolica, so he's almost back into the points. He's only got his teammate in front of him now, and he'll be in 10th place. So Heroes now all over the back of Captain of Gold on the pit straight. Both got DRS though. Trin trying to break the toe. And here we go, Hero going down the inside of the Alfa Romeo, and he's got the move done. Going to jump back slightly because we've got Urban Skyther going back on Crush as well, up into P6. These guys are still battling for this position. And
Hero is so confident on the brakes.
Yeah, he's showing so much pace at the moment. Urban Skyther and Crush have got to be careful here. They're costing each other a fair bit of time. They dropped back at 1.6 seconds on Captain of Gold, who's on 11 lap-old medium. So they just need to be careful that this battling is going to be costing them time in the long run.
I imagine we'll see some team orders down this back straight for Bate and Mikhail.
Yeah, quite possibly. And by Psycho saying we might see, it means that Psycho has sent them a message and told them that they need to swap positions.
No comment.
Having a look at Hero all over the back of Trin now. Expect the McLaren to be a fair bit quicker than the Haas on the straight in particular. He'll have DRS, Trin 2.2 seconds behind Big Al, who's pulling away from the rest of the field, but not quite able to stay with Fever. A little bit of a wobble there from Hero as he crossed the line at Parabolica. And Captain of Gold's getting a little bit of a tow here as well, just keeping him ahead of his teammate, but Hero goes to the inside. No attempt to defend by Trin. He knows that he doesn't have the pace to compete with Hero, and quite cautiously lets him go through.
Everyone's got to be happy so far. He's nearly managed half a race at Monza without an incident.
Don't jinx him, you've been horrible at that tonight.
That's a good point, sorry. Yeah, Fever is just putting more and more of a gap between himself and Big Al. If Hero manages to catch Big Al, they might be able to work together to tow each other along, saving some ERS here and there and try and make up that gap to Fever. But they don't tend to work very well together.
As we were talking, Crush made the move back on Urban Skyther before they got to Ascari. And Crush is showing quite a bit of pace now. He's almost caught back up into DRS, a Captain of Gold. Skyther there just looks like he's lost a little bit of pace there. He's not really staying with Crush here, and he's dropping back to the clutches of T-Mac, who's showing quite a bit of pace as well. He's got, well, it's a mega train we've got here from all the way up in P3, goes all the way down to P13, is within DRS of each other. And here we go, T-Mac making the move on Urban. They go side by side into the braking zone of turn 1. And T-Mac leaves the space. He gets pushed up onto the curb though, but he's got the traction. Oh, a little bit of a wobble there from Urban as well. T-Mac moves up into P7. And now Urban's down to P8. With,
good driving by both of them.
Yeah, it was very nice, respectful driving there from the two.
Urban's used all of his ERS. There's no way you can keep up with him. He used it all battling with Crush, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did say as well that the squabble between Crush and Urban is going to cost them. The Captain of Gold is still in P5. Like, he's staying with Trin now. He's been given a bit of a reprieve, and I think they've used up a fair bit of their tyres, and that's going to slow everyone behind them and help Captain of Gold with what is looking like a pretty decent alternate strategy at the moment.
Yeah, it seems to be working. If he can get a safety car in about 4 laps time, he'll be over the moon.
Well, T-Mac has dropped out of DRS range of Crush, so he could be a bit vulnerable here to Urban. No, it looks like T-Mac just got it. He was showing 1.051 on my screen, but must have just got it in the detection zone. Looking a bit further back, we've got Apollo Pepsi and Batemate going side by side. Mikau just behind, waiting to have his turn. As Endocat picks up the first time penalty of the race, 3 seconds for exceeding track limits.
Endo's pushing very hard to try and get within DRS of Mikau here.
He's towing his teammate along as well. They might actually swap positions here because CJM getting held up by his teammate a little bit.
They seem to have settled into a bit of a procession at the moment. Everyone just seems to sort of be towing each other along.
Well, T-Mac getting DRS on that pit straight was just enough for him to get well within the DRS range again of Crush, so giving him a bit of a reprieve, but his margins are very, very narrow, so if anyone slips up, it's going to be, well, it's going to cost them quite a lot. Just looking at CJM and Andocat, I think Andocat's dropped out of DRS well and truly now, Mikau, so CJM should be able to make light work of him here. And there we go. Prix has passed him on the pit straight. He moves up into P12. In the meantime, thank you very much for the follow Left for Dead and Brut as well. I hope you guys are enjoying the coverage this evening.
Cap is making those old mediums work really, really well. He's not showing any sign of severe tyre degradation. I'd say Batemate would be getting very frustrated now. He's had a couple of stabs at Pepsi, but he hasn't been able to actually pull past him yet.
Yeah, that's the problem with Monza. There's a bit of a procession when everyone's got DRS.
He's going to give it a go here. He's using a lot of ERS. He'll try and do it after Parabolica, I think.
Yeah, he's so much closer to him this time around.
And he gets a better exit. Yeah, Pepsi has a slip.
Very wide. He's actually off the track there briefly. And I think Batemate's got him. He'll get the toe of the car in front. And Batemate moves up into P9. And Crusher, Captain of Gold, also changing places for P5. So Captain of Gold's tyres finally starting to let go a little bit. And he loses that position. And looking at Apollo Pepsi. Batemate's actually added DRS range now with Urban, so he's going to have to get a reel on.
He'll get that back, no problem. Pepsi's vulnerable now because Mikau's right behind him with double the amount of ERS. Oh, Pepsi's struggling. He's slipping and sliding a lot on those tyres.
Well, Batemate's got back at the DRS range just before the detection point, so he will be able to pull away from Apollo Pepsi now. And Pepsi's going to be a little bit vulnerable here to Mikau, who's got a gap behind to the Mercedes, but they are closing in a little bit, so he'll want to clear the Haas as well.
We'll see if he can manage it. I think doing really, really well to keep within Hero's DRS.
So we've got 10 laps to go in this race. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. One of the Mercedes has gone around. That's Andocat. He's still got his front wing. It looks like he's just had a little bit of a spin going through Parabolica. And he keeps going, so tyres still have a bit of life in them. But I was just going to say, we've got 10 laps to go. Who was it? Captain Gold is going to have to come into the pits soon. And yeah, unless he gets a lucky safety car soon, I think the alternate strategy is not going to work for him because he will drop back to about P13 after looking pretty strong for most of the stint so far.
Pepsi not quite being able to make that second chicane. He couldn't quite pull the car up in time. He had to cut the corner and he let Mikau past. Brendan actually making up quite a bit of time on Hero.
Yeah, he's staying well within DRS range. And he's actually, Hero's had an incident or something.
He has, yeah.
He's lost a place to Trin. Crusher's gone for the move as well. He didn't catch what happened there, but it was out of Ascari. Maybe he had a little bit of wobble. He's gone for a big dive on Trin as well. Oh, a big contact as well. He's hit Trin. And Trin is going to be furious with that move from the McLaren as we see the Ferrari of Crush pull into the pits, I think. I wonder if he picked up damage there from the battle with Hero. Trin's going super defensive. He's got no DRS as well. He might actually get into trouble for that very late move to defend from Captain of Gold. He's going up the inside of Captain of Gold, and he's had a bit of contact for now for Romeo. This is where Trin needs to keep his head. He needs to stay cool and avoid getting into another incident. He's got the pace of Captain of Gold. Captain of Gold has He has to pit for new tyres. He has to pit. So Trin's trying to come back at him with the second Variante. He's got the move done. But Hero there, I think Trin's not going to be too happy with that move by Hero. It was a very overly optimistic dive bomb on 2 cars into Parabolica. Hit Trin, forced him off the track and had to defend, and well, basically had to repass Captain of Gold because of that move.
Trin was getting punted by Crush and Hero then.
Why did you see if Crush had to repair his front wing? It looked like that was the only reason why he had to pit.
Yeah, Crush had to pit. He hit Trin and lost the front wing into Parabolica.
So yeah, I think that will be looked at by the stewards because that yeah, it was a bit of an unnecessary argy-barginess after Hero's mistake coming out of Ascari. As Mikau and Batemate have swapped positions, so it's taken about 5 laps, but you finally listened to your team orders there, Psycho.
Yeah, Mikau let Bate just try and see what he could do against Pepsi, but they've obviously seen that it's not working, and they want to try and get Mikau as many points as we can. So we'll see what can happen now. I expect some more shenanigans and some more carnage in front, though, especially if these guys are going to push this hard. Trin obviously hasn't scored points here yet, so he'll be pretty desperate to get a good result, especially being that far up the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both Big Al and Hero, both Big Al and FIBA have just completely checked out. Nearly a 3-second gap there on both of them.
So Trin's still staying with Hero here. He's got DRS again on the McLaren. And he's closed back up to within 4 tenths, nearly 3 tenths by the time he gets to the apex of Ascari. And he's gonna want to get this move done. I think after having the position and then getting it taken off him, a questionable move. I think he's gonna want to get it done on track, not in the stewards' lounge.
I would say so. Trin will be happy to do it in the stewards' lounge as well, though, knowing him. But yeah, he'll wanna get it done on track as well, just to reaffirm the position. He's had a fantastic race so far, and he definitely feels like he deserves it. Oh.
So Captain of Gold still hasn't pit yet. We're on lap 21, hey. 6 laps to go. He's staying with Trin here, so he's showing good pace.
He's praying for a safety car.
Yeah. It needs to be soon. Like, he can't afford to be any later, because then everyone else won't pit if there's only a lap or 2 to go.
It just shows you how strong the DRS is around here, that someone with tyres that old can still stick with you. Not a lot of time separating this midfield at all. It's so hard to overtake when they're in this train, but they're doing what they can.
Do you reckon Trin might have some minor damage on his wing?
Mikau
just died!
He hit the inside of the last left-hander in Ascari.
Safety car, it's a full safety car. This has saved Captain of Gold's strategy.
Captain of Gold!
Captain of Gold is in with a fight now.
He would be so happy.
And there's Mikau parked up on the left-hand side there. Endocat goes past. And we caught that. We caught that on the stream. Just bring it up. And yeah, we were just watching Trin. We wonder if he had some damage or something, because he seemed to not quite keep up with Hero through the corners. But then we caught Mikau there. He lost it. It was mid-corner. It wasn't even... It was an odd one. He didn't touch the exit curb, but he lost it on the bitumen.
Yeah, so... another issue we just had there. Batemate hit Urban Cypher as they came into the pits and got a 5-second penalty for his troubles. Yeah,
so he might be lucky enough to get that removed by the stewards after the race, assuming Urban didn't serve his 5-second penalty in the pits, if he got one. Everyone onto the soft tyre, so no surprises there. We'll keep up the penalties for the rest of the race. We've got 5 laps to the end. Let's have a look. So yeah, Trin currently running in P4.
Trent will still be very happy with that. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of a dash now, and I think there's going to be carnage. All I can think of is sort of similar type scenario happening last year with Feber and Potsy playing silly buggers with the DRS on the second last lap. So I'd imagine we'd see something very similar, because Feber with DRS, Big L and Hero will be right on him, and he won't be able to pull away from them.
Well, this has brought everyone into play now. So Feber was on to cruise home to victory. Big Al kind of in a race of his own in P2. And Hero was holding off Trin at the time, but now everyone is on for the win now.
Yeah, this is going to be intense. I'm quite keen to see how this ends.
Well, everyone on fresh soft tyres as well. So, yeah. Anyone in probably the top 6, I'd say, would probably win. Bateman, unfortunately, with that 5-second penalty, probably not going to be a contender at this stage, but...
No, I'd say not. We should have. I imagine safety cars should be in this lap, so we'll have about 3 laps of green running. 3 or 4 laps, we'll see how we go. Rush. Oh yeah, Crush had to pit because of that damage.
Yeah,
That's
so he was out of sync,
there.
so he's done 3 stops for the race so far.
Yep. That safety car helping him a lot. He was completely out of the points.
Yeah, definitely. So he's on for a good result here. Obviously, he'd prefer to be a bit higher, but unfortunately, but Argy-bargy will do that.
I'll take what he can get. I do like how the 2 McLaren drivers have colour coordinated their helmets to suit their cars.
It does look very good. All right, we got safety car in this lap, so Feber has control of the field now. And here we go. We're going to have a 4-lap dash to the end.
We'll see what happens. It's a lot. It's going to be riding on this restart because it is so hard to overtake here, especially under this DRS. So we'll see how these guys restart. Trin leaving a decent gap to the drivers ahead, obviously trying not to get caught out too badly.
He's gone.
No one really getting caught out too badly. Trin is a little bit off, but he should be able to catch them in the braking zone.
And looks like Hero's got a very good run on Big Al as well. And Feber moving on the straight to try and break the toe. Hero's touching the grass. He's gone from over around the outside, which becomes the inside on Big Al. They're side by side through the exit. And Trent's right behind them as well, hoping to mop up the scraps. Hero still behind Big Al, though. Couldn't quite get the move done, but he's got another good run around Curva Grande. Trying to go into the second variante. He's getting alongside now on the inside. And, oh, Big Al turns across. There's contact. Big Al spun. There's contact between the two. And Trin comes through into P2. And they have dropped massively. Contacts between the 2 cars at the second variante. And they are now down to 7th and 9th.
I can't quite, without seeing replay footage, I can't quite see whose fault that was, but that was really silly driving from Hero and Big Al.
Well,
that's going to cost
I think Big Al had the racing line, and there was a bit of contact initially, and then they just interlocked tyres at the second part of the chicane, and they got stuck together and went off into the gravel, and that's allowed Trin to go up to P2, and Captain of Gold, who started this race dead last, is currently P3.
If this man ends in the podium, he's going to go buy a lotto ticket. He's had the safety cars exactly when he needed them, both of them.
And I think Trin might need to use my Stephen Bradbury gif on Discord now, because that was definitely a Stephen Bradbury moment. Anyway, watching Big Al and Crush go side by side, so luckily they didn't have any damage, so Big Al's trying to... Oh, look at the cars everywhere on the straight. Big Al looks like he's got the move done on Crush. Going to have a look further back. It looks like the Mercedes and the Ferrari of Undercut and combined getting a bit of contact through the first chicane, and a bit of wheel spin as well from the Ferrari. It's not going to help his exit, but he stays in front of the Mercedes. He'll jump up to Hero as well, sorry, who's all over the back of Apollo Pepsi.
Yeah, so Trin and Cap have swap positions. Trin didn't fight it too hard, which is good. He knows that there's no point in really fighting it now. It's going to be all about that second last lap and that last lap. As long as he tucks in behind, saves the ERS, he should be able to get a good point.
Yeah,
get a good
just as
result
long
here.
as he doesn't have to defend too hard from T-Mac, who's very close behind him as well.
Oh, T-Mac gets such a good run out of Ascari. Not quite good enough to get past Trin yet, though.
And Bayman as well, having a bit of a look on the Alpine. He's currently in the middle of an Alpine sandwich with Big Al made his way back up to 6th, and Hero still way down in 9th.
Phoebe's done the Phoebe thing again and just checked out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 4 seconds clear of the rest of the field now, who are all pretty much within DRS of each other. Trin having to go slightly defensive from T-Mac, but he's still within 3/10 of captain a goal. We've got 2 laps remaining. Plenty of time for these positions to change as Hero goes... Oh, has a little bit of RGB with CJM. He's actually dropped down to 10th. I wonder if Hero's got some wing damage out of that contact with Big Al. And he is dropping almost out of the points now.
I'd be amazed if he didn't have damage.
Yeah, it looked pretty traumatic contact when I was looking at it earlier. We'll show a replay in a moment once we've got a second to breathe.
Harass, the Discord link is in the bio. Emac is all over Trin. I think he's going to go for him.
Yeah, 210s here. Trin will have DRS to defend with. And Captain of Gold looking a little bit vulnerable here as well. He's only got 3/10 lead on Trin here. I reckon into turn 1, Trin might have a go. So it will be the final lap, and it will only be 1 DRS zone to come back at him.
T-Mac's going to do it now. He used a lot of ERS, then he's so close, or he's just lining up for Parabolica.
No, he's going to wait for it. You're right, he is so close, though. He almost touched Trin there as he turned in for the corner. But I think, Trin's a little bit too far back to get the move on Captain of Gold here. He's got it very little ERS. This is the final lap of the race now. They're weaving all over the track. Oh, but Trin's got the inside line. I think he's going to be able to squeeze out T-Mac here. Oh, there's a little bit of overlap from the Alpine. Trin should have the better run out of the corner into Curva Grande, and he does. A little bit of a change of position a bit further back. Didn't see who that was. Heroes dropped out of DRS range of CJM, sorry.
Bateman on T-Mac.
And there we go.
Very well played
Contact
by
there
Trin.
between T-Mac. He hit the back of the Haas, and there's a concertina as well. I wonder if Batemate's lost some wing there on the back of T-Mac. Now, Big Al's all over the back of him. And Trin looks like he's just focused on holding on to this 3rd place rather than trying to fight Captain of Gold for P2. So you see Hero drops out of the points now, down into P11.
I imagine Hero has some sort of bodywork damage.
And they're still fighting between Hero and Urban. Hero back up into the points. Looks like that might be it. Done and dusted. Jumping back up to Big Al, who's all over the back of Batemate. Coming into the final corner for the final lap. And it looks like T-Mac as well is having a little bit of a look at Trin. But I think that's it. As Faber comes across the line, takes a checker flag for the win. A very commanding victory for him. As Captain Gold, Trin, T-Mac and Big Al come across the line. Crush Apollo, Pepsi, Batemate. And Hero will go into P9 with penalties to Batemate. And they were all bunched up together. Batemate lost out big time with that penalty, which I'm sure he will get looked at after the race.
I don't know if he can. I don't know if that was his fault or not, because Urban was ahead of him at the time. But yeah, as you said, fantastic job by Faber. Absolutely showing his pace in his class. Just phenomenal drive.
Absolutely, and well done to Captain of Gold. Pick up P2. He started on the medium tyres dead last, and he came home in P2 with a very timely safety car right before he had to pit onto the soft tyres, and he ended up getting the second step of the podium. And well done to Trin as well, taking home P3 after a run of very unfortunate races, and he's well and truly deserved getting some champagne there. T-Mac and Big Al and Alpines coming in 4th and 5th, a good result there for the team, although Big Al, I'm sure, is very disappointed after that late race contact. Then got Crush, Polo, Pepsi, CCM. Hero did scrape into the points with Urban Skyther picking up a point for Alfa Romeo as well. We then had Pond and combined Batemate and a Cat. rounding out the finishes with Mikhail Eckermann and Artanis not finishing there. Batemate does have that 5-second penalty that I'm sure he will ask to be removed, but we'll see how that plays out over the next few days. Now, I'm just going to bring up the replay. We did have that contact between Big Al and Hero, so we see them going around Curva Grande, and had a very good run from Hero. He did have his front wing slightly in front. I think he's predominantly alongside there, and he just outbraked himself, so that actually looked like Hero's just gone into the side of Big Al. Al has left the space on the inside, and I think, judging from where we'll just watch it again, judging where Hero ends up, he's essentially on the white line for the inside of the next corner, so I think he's... Yeah, it's a hard one to call, that one. It looks like Big Al left the space and they've kind of just got stuck together. Whether or not that was Hero going too deep or not, we won't really know until we see his onboard footage. But very unfortunate way to finish the race, but definitely exciting for us, so that's for sure. But thank you very much, Psycho, for joining me tonight. And then you've got Tier 2 racing in about 15 minutes time, so I'll let you run away. Did you want to have any final words or anything before you head off?
No, good. That was an excellent race. Thank you for having me.
No worries, anytime, Psycho. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. I've been Gus Rules. We will be back with Tier 2 in 15 minutes' time, so please stay tuned. And I think Poly Pepsi will be streaming that one for you as well. But thank you very much for joining me tonight for Tier 1. We'll be back next week for Monaco, so it'll be a very exciting one with something a little bit different to what you might have seen in the past. But thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back soon. See you next time.
Yeah.